Thank you, Bob. Hey, fun, right? Awesome event. Matt, Sean, Brian, Debbie, everyone at 911, you knocked them dead. Third one, we're going to have even more exciting ones in the future, and every year it's getting a little bit better. Now, I want to start this by doing an ode of appreciation to everyone out there. Years ago, my mother was at an event in Long Island, and there was a very famous actor who was going around the room, Eli Wallach. And he finally reached her and he said to her, "So, who are you?" And she said, "Oh, I'm the most important person in the room." He said, "You are?" She said, "Yes, I'm the audience. Without me, you're dead." Well, the truth of the matter is that whatever we do, whatever excellence we strive for, however we try to distinguish ourselves from all the other guys, and I think that our team has really done that, without you, none of it means anything. So we are eternally grateful that you are part of the 911 family. We look forward to working with you in the development of more products and services that help the people that we care about, because that's what this is really all about, is how do we help the people that we really care about. Years ago, in his inaugural address in 1961, President Kennedy said the torch has been passed to a new generation. Unfortunately, in the years since then, the torchbearer got kidnapped and the torch got swiped. A shameless plug for the name of my book. But if you look at the privacy and the security area, and you think about what our speakers said yesterday, we're living in a time of ambiguity. We're living in a time of discomfort. We're looking in a time of disbelief. As Karen was talking yesterday, you know, trust is a very precious commodity. It's a fluid commodity. And that every day, every organization we know is tested. Do they make the right promises? Will they live up to those promises? And what happens if there's someone out there that attempts to twist those promises, even when the organization is doing everything it can? Now, we talked about laws and regulations yesterday, but we also realize the fact that we're living in a time where well over 1 billion files, and I'm sure Eva will correct me when she comes up and runs her panel. Some people think it was 1 billion files in the past few years. In the past 2 years, there were even some that claim it was 1 billion files just in the last year. And we've seen iconic breaches everywhere from Target and Home Depot to Sony, which was a near extinction level event, to the OPM breach, which I think was the most thorough and most terrifying just in terms of the ramifications of what it means for the over 20 million people who were part of the database that was compromised. So one thing is very clear, we all got a lot of work to do. Now, I was at an event during a political campaign, and discretion being the better part of valor, I won't tell you the party or the candidate, but the question was raised, what is it like to run as a candidate of a particular party that doesn't seem to have a national message? And we know it's not your fault, but what's it like to run? And the candidate's response was, because I hold the microphone, it is my responsibility, whether or not it is my fault, to say what should be said for the party and for the country. The same is about what we do as a community. We, in the cyber community, the resolution providers, the insurers, the employee benefits organizations, the health providers, the financial services companies, we hold the microphone. And we need to hold ourselves because heaven knows our clients and our customers will to a higher standard. And we know there's a certain inevitability about what we face. We're living through a campaign now where we hear about building a big, beautiful wall with a fat door. Well, unfortunately, the wall that they should be talking about, that almost no one is talking about, is a cyber wall. And even though we really can't build one per se, because this is an international problem that effectively knows no borders, as we heard about yesterday, when those borders are violated, when consumers are violated, and when we turn to the governments of those other nations and say, stand up, their response is, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have never heard of those people. I don't know. It's not my problem. It's not my fault. Yet in many cases, they are shielding the people that create the problems for us. We're living in a world where we can't get agreement in Washington on what privacy is. I had a meeting with the leaders of a couple of committees a few months ago, and they said, well, we're kind of getting down to security legislation, but we haven't quite tackled privacy because we can't get the Democrats and the Republicans to agree on what privacy is. Well, we certainly know, based on everything we know, what privacy isn't. And that's really what we strive for at gatherings such as these, with organizations such as yours, and an environment where we are open and we are having communications. So therefore now I want to welcome you and thank you again for coming.